The Planet Man. The Planet This is the fascinating story of Dantro, the Planet Man, troubleshooter for the League of Planets organization, the law enforcement body for peace and justice in the celestial world, whose headquarters and center of operations are situated on the capital of all the planets, Planaria Rex. From Mercury to Pluto, wherever danger threatens the universe, you will find Dantro, the Planet Man, fighting for fair play. In a moment, The Planet Man. When we left the crew of Earth's first rocket expedition, they were heading for a crash on the moon. We find Dr. Darrow, his daughter Pat, Slats, the engineer, and our two young stowaways, Billy and Jane, discussing their dangerous predicament. The sound of the complicated control mechanism makes the cabin seem like a chatterbox of confusion. And from the outside can be heard the mad whining of the lunar currents. We find them now as they're getting closer and closer to the moon's surface. Slats is speaking.
Our altimeter reading is dropping pretty fast, Professor.
Isn't there any way we can break our fall on the moon?
I've thought of everything, Pat, but there just doesn't seem to be any answer. The extra power we lost on takeoff was our only hope.
Father, I know you don't like to do things second best, but in a situation like this, it might be necessary.
What do you mean, Pat?
Well, what about using our remaining power to go into an orbit around the moon, as we discussed in our original plan?
Yes, but what good will that do? We still come to the same end, except that the agony will be prolonged.
Let's do it, Professor. We got nothing to lose.
Whatever it is, I'm game, Uncle John.
Me too, Uncle John.
You know what they say, Professor, where there's life, there's hope.
It'll be a ticklish maneuver now since we've gotten into the pull of the moon, and our power is limited. But if the rest of you are game, so am I. Stand by to maneuver. Pat, start the reactor.
Yes, Father.
Slats, check the radar rangefinder and make sure you pinpoint those readings on the moon.
Yes, sir.
I'll pilot. Now keep your fingers crossed. Heading 10 degrees starboard.
Heading 10 degrees starboard.
Cut the reactor, Pat.
Cutting reactor.
What's our reading?
It's 63.3. We need a bit more, Professor.
Hit it again, Pat.
Reactor on.
Are we picking it up fast enough, Slats? What's the reading?
Not enough, Professor. We need a fraction more.
Are you sure, Slats? I've got our heading way over, and our power can't last much longer with such a radical course heading. Slats, give me a reading. Slats, do you hear me? Give me a reading.
It's 89.4. 6 more points, Professor.
That's the end of our power. I hope we make it.
Steady, steady. Just a bit more, old Ironsides. There. Well, we made it. We made it, Professor.
Good,
right
that's
on the
fine.
beam.
I'm so glad. Very glad.
Hey, what are we all so happy about? We're right in the middle of nowhere.
You mean that we're not going to land on the moon after all?
I'm afraid not, Billy.
What's going to happen?
Nothing, Jane. We're just going to circle the moon the way the moon circles the Earth.
Just look at that view of the moon. What a break. So near and yet so far.
Uncle John, something is happening to the air. It's getting stuffy in here.
I know, Billy. It's the air circulator slowing down. Breathing will be just a bit difficult from now on since our oxygen supply is limited.
Professor, can you hear me?
Slats, where are you? What are you up to?
I'm outside the ship bringing up the lunar communications generator. Thought we might as well set it up and try to make contact with the Earth.
You can't do that alone.
I'm here, too.
Careful, Pat. Don't let go now. Pat! Slats, grab her. She's floating away.
What?
Quick, Slats!
Slats, help me. Help me.
Pat, here, grab my hand. Quick now, come on. Hold tight now. Easy. There we are. Steady now.
He pulled her back, Uncle John.
Pat, Slats, is everything all right?
Yes, Father, thanks to Slats. I thought I was a goner.
Don't forget you're out in space, Pat, and if you ever drifted away, we'd never be able to get you back.
It's all okay now, Professor. We're coming in.
Pat,
Yes, Billy?
Jane and I know what's going on.
What are you talking about?
Pat, we know this whole trip was spoiled because we stowed aboard. It's all our fault.
Now listen to me, you two, and stop feeling guilty. It wasn't the best idea for you to sneak aboard, but it did happen. And besides, we could have been wrong in our calculations. The important thing now is for all of us to face up to whatever lies ahead. And I know that you two won't let me down.
Never, Pat.
Not us, Pat.
All right, now let's just forget the whole thing. I wonder where Slats and Father are.
We'll return to Planet Man in just a moment.
So, level off.
Well, it looks like the first trip from Earth to the moon is coming to its tragic end. The good ship Constitution is in a hopeless orbit about the moon. The entire crew is slowly suffocating because the oxygen supply is coming to an end. Professor Darrow and Slats are in the posterior cargo chamber. Slats is apparently up to something.
Why don't you go to the control cabin, Professor, and lie down for a while? It'll be easier for you to breathe.
I think I'd better stay here. I hate to have Pat and the kids see me so worried and worn out. Slats, you've got something on your mind. What is it?
Well, I've been thinking, Professor. I really haven't got anybody. Nobody'd miss me, and you and Pat and the kids would have a little extra time.
Now, what are you driving at?
Well, a big guy like me uses a lot of oxygen. All I have to do is to step through that port, and it'll be all over in a second. You people will have a little longer.
Don't be a fool, Slats. We're all in this together. Besides, if anybody goes through the port, it will be me. I'm the oldest. And besides, the whole thing is my responsibility.
Now, look, Professor, I've made up my mind. There's no point in trying to stop me.
No, Slats, don't jump.
Don't stop me, Professor. I'll hit you. I didn't mean to hurt you, Professor, but this is the way it's got to be. So long, Professor. What's that?
What's going on in there? What's that clanging?
We're not clanging anything. I thought it was you.
Slats! Father, look out of the port! Quick! Boy, look at that! It's mammoth!
Professor, get up. Something's happened.
What?
There's something next to our ship.
Huh? Oh, my head. Ship. Here, help me. Let me see the... What? It's impossible. But it looks like another ship is next to ours.
Let me help you, Professor. We must get to the control cabin with the others.
Father, Slats, what is it?
I don't know, but now we'd better stay close together. Slats, where are you going?
Just to get this fishing wrench. I don't know what's coming through that hatch, but I'm not taking any chances.
Well, be careful and don't get too close to the hatch.
Let's all be very quiet.
Oh, Uncle John, look!
Stand back, whatever you are. I'll...
Look at Slats. He can't move. He's frozen in his tracks.
Oh, Slats. Why, it's a man.
What did you expect? A three-headed Mercurian man-eater? I am a man from the planets.
A planet man. Boy, wait till the gang hears about this.
Billy, please.
My name is Dantro, the Planet Man, and I come in peace. I represent the League of Planets, and my mission is to bring all of you to Planaria Rex.
Planaria Rex? League of Planets?
Where is that?
I'll explain in a moment. But I don't think we should leave your brave friend Slats in this paralyzed predicament. He'll snap right out of it with a shot of this ray gun neutralizer.
What happened? Did I get him?
It's all right, Slats. We're all safe. It seems that we've met a friend, and his name is Dantro, the Planet Man.
It's nice to meet a brave man like you, Slats. Here, let me help you up.
Dantro, my name is John Darrow. This is my daughter and assistant, Pat.
How do you do?
And I think you've already met Slats.
Yeah.
And these two are Jane and Billy, my niece and nephew.
Well,
It's a pleasure to know you all. You see, we've really known you for a long time, since we've been able to watch your experiments. In fact, we've been in touch with this entire trip of yours. We've even learned to speak your language.
But how could you do all that?
We planet men have many devices which Earth has not yet discovered, and one of them is the cosmic communicator. which enables us to see and hear across the millions of miles of space.
But why have you kept the existence of the League of Planets from the Earth?
Where is Planaria Rex, and why haven't I been able to chart its position?
Everything will be explained to you in due time.
What's that noise?
It's coming from my ship. We must hurry along. It's the bogey warning oscillator telling us there are some unidentified ships approaching.
But we can't leave the Constitution.
Not old Ironside.
Your ship will be safe in this orbit for 1,000 years. We must not waste time.
Will I get a spacesuit like yours?
Will you let me fly the ship?
I see Earth children are no different from ours. There's our last warning. Quick, through the hatch into my ship, the Planeteer.
What adventures lie ahead for the Earth people? What will they find on Planaria Rex? Whose ships are those approaching the helpless Constitution? We'll be back in just a moment. But first, here is a message that Dantro the Planet Man wants you to hear. Tune in again for more transcribed thrills and adventures. Find out what happens to the Earth people as they speed toward a new world on Planaria Rex. Rocket millions of light years into space with Dantro, the Planet Man. The Planet Man. The Planet Man. Planet Man. This is the fascinating story of Dantro, the Planet Man, troubleshooter for the League of Planets organization, the law enforcement body for peace and justice in the celestial world, whose headquarters and center of operations are situated on the capital of all the planets, Planaria Rex. From Mercury to Pluto, wherever danger threatens the universe, you will find Dantro the Planet Man fighting for fair play. In a moment, the Planet Man. At this moment, Dantro the Planet Man and the crew of the Earth's first space expedition, whom Dantro saved from certain death, are swiftly speeding toward Planaria Rex. They have just gotten out of the reach of some unidentified bogey spaceships. Dantro's ship, the Planeteer, is the most breathtaking engineering feat the Earth people have ever seen. It's as large as a fortress, and an endless system of instruments and mechanisms in the control chamber give it the appearance of a fantastic flying laboratory. Dantro is speaking.
With the use of this cosmic communicator, we've been able to watch the Earth for many years. This is how we knew all about your experiments, Professor Darrow, in the moment you took off for the moon. Here, I'll tune it in on your launching site, and you can see and hear what they're saying about your expedition.
Look, Professor, it's Charlie and Dr. Sterling.
I can't believe they didn't make it. Professor Darrow seems so sure. The scaffolding fire just before launching must have caused some trouble we never figured on.
It's bad enough losing the three of them. But it looks like those two kids must have gone along with them. They were here one minute and gone the next. One of the workmen saw them near the rocket platform before the fire broke out.
I'm afraid I'll have to cut off the communicator now. You see, I must keep it clear for incoming messages. But what is this? Emergency garble signal. Let me hit that key. I've got to decode this message. This is Dantro. I am reading.
Dantro, this is Judge Augustus. Have you contacted the Earth people?
Yes, sir. They're aboard the Planeteer.
Good. Friends from Earth, forgive this hurried greeting. I'll welcome you personally when you arrive. Dantro, get back as quickly as possible. There's trouble brewing.
What's wrong?
Marston is up to some evil. Get back at once.
Yes, sir. Signing off. Brace yourselves. I'm giving her the works. Attention, all hands. Jets alive. Jets alive.
Dantro, how fast are we going?
About 5,000 miles per second.
Incredible. Say, who is this fella Marston? He sure gets lots of fast action.
Well, I guess I'd better explain a few things. You see, the League of Planets is made up of all the inhabited parts of the solar system. Mercury, Venus, Mars, and some of the moons of Saturn and Jupiter.
Dantro, there's a red light blinking on the port panel. What does it mean?
Well, oh, thanks, Billy. I must switch on my auxiliary cooling coils. Without that, the skin of the ship would melt at this speed. A few more turns on this ship and you'll be able to pilot her, Billy.
Oh, boy, I'd sure like that.
Well, anyhow, the member planets of the League have been living in peace for many centuries until recently, when a new leader has taken over on Mars. His name is Marston, and he's been plotting the conquest of the solar system. So far, the League has kept him in check. However, I'm afraid that once his plans are known, war between the worlds will be inevitable.
Why don't you punch him in the nose?
Now, Billy.
You're talking just like an old-fashioned cowboy, Billy. What you mean is, why don't you paralyze him a little?
Jane, please.
It's all right, Pat. You see, we of the League of Planets are not permitted to resort to violence except in self-defense. Let's not worry about Marston now. That's not your problem. Well, we'll soon be at Planaria Rex.
We'll return to the exciting story of the Planet Man in just a moment.
So, level off.
Dantro, the Planet Man, under urgent orders from Judge Augustus, is flying the Earth people to Planaria Rex at record speed. On the planet of the unknown, the mysterious planet Mars, certain plans are taking shape which can only mean that Marston, the dictator of Mars, is up to some foul play. As we look into the cold, foreboding secret meeting place of the Martian Council, we find Marston, a giant, fierce, ruthless ruler, holding court with his council. Behind Marston, you can hear a small, ugly, and weird creature. His Martian flying cobra, FEMA. It's Marston's only means of protection. Since this creature has the powers to warn Marston of any impending danger, Marston trusts no one. Hence, FEMA is constantly with him. Listen.
Can I count on no one? Must I conquer the whole solar system alone? I must have speed. We must strike before the other planets suspect our plan. Before they know it, Marston will rule the solar system.
When do we invade the Earth?
As soon as our ships return with the crew of Earth's first rocket ship. They should have reached there by now. Once they are our prisoners, we can move. From their eminent Professor Darrow, we will learn much to help us conquer the Earth.
Then with the Earth's resources and her people as our slaves, we can defy the League of Planets.
Marston, we have just received word from our ships. They have found the Earth ship.
Good.
But the crew is gone. Dantro must have reached them first, and it's believed they are on their way to Planaria Rex.
What? Must everyone fail me? Have the ships return immediately. When they arrive, execute the commanders of both ships. FEMA, you are the only one who understands and protects me. And as for the rest of you, my trusted council, you will learn that when Marston wants something done, it will be done.
How can we keep them from reaching Planaria Rex?
Tara, my most eminent and brilliant scientist, what would you suggest? And I warn you, think well on this answer.
Marston, we must not betray ourselves in open violence. Our astronomers have discovered a flight of asteroids in the vicinity of Planaria Rex. By using our new gravitational repellers, we can direct these asteroids into the path of Dantro's ship.
Won't they be able to avoid them? You know only too well that Dantro's ship is equipped with deflectors.
It will be impossible for any deflectors to deal with so many asteroids at the speed at which they are traveling. They cannot change the course of their flight, and they are certain to crash.
Proceed with your plan, and do not fail. Remember that at this moment, We are trying to confuse the League of Planets Council into voting for our plan to, shall we say, peacefully contact the Earth. Our representative is ridiculing Judge Augustus' story of an Earth rocket ship because we were supposed to have destroyed the ship and captured its crew. We must not look like fools. And speaking of fools, you can all leave now. Dantro, you have beaten me again. I thought I might one day have the pleasure of running this radium dagger through you. But the asteroids will have to do the job for me.
As the representative of Mars, I say to this council, why do we wait any longer? I repeat to this council that there is no rocket ship from Earth in an orbit about the moon. There are no Earth people. I insist that we vote on the Mars resolution to permit the planet Mars to make peaceful contact with the Earth. We have agreed on the vote.
Members of the council, I request you wait. I personally contacted Dantro, and I know he is on his way to Planaria Rex with the Earth people.
We've had too many words about Dantro. Why isn't he here with proof? If we delay this vote any longer, we will be defaulting on our agreement to vote, and this council will be causing great grievance to my planet Mars. I demand a vote now.
I implore the council to wait.
Dantro, please hurry.
Boy, what a way to travel. No need for gravity shoes. I can't wait until we get this drive in the Constitution. It's just wonderful for my corn.
I'm sure that League of Planets has other things to do besides worry about your corn.
Hey, what's up?
What a weird noise. Hurts my ears.
What's this? I can't understand it. We seem to be running into a field of asteroids that shouldn't be in this area.
Won't your deflectors take care of that?
The deflectors will take care of any ordinary obstructions, but there are hundreds of asteroids ahead. My latest report from Central Control shows them to be 3 million miles away. It's impossible, but there they are.
Is there any danger?
Can we go around them?
We're traveling so fast, it's impossible to change course that much. I'm slowing down, but I'm afraid we're going to hit them right smack in the center. All hands secure ship. Stand by for possible collision.
Well, Dantro the Planet Man and the Earth people seem to be in quite a spot. We'll be back in a moment. But first, here is a message that the Planet Man wants you to hear. Tune in again for more transcribed thrills and adventures. Find out what happens to the Earth people as they speed toward a new world on Planaria Rex. Rocket millions of light years into space with Dantro, the Planet Man. The Planet Man. The Planet Man. Planet Man. This is the fascinating story of Dantro, the Planet Man, troubleshooter for the League of Planets organization, the law enforcement body for peace and justice in the celestial world, whose headquarters and center of operations are situated on the capital of all the planets, Planaria Rex. From Mercury to Pluto, wherever danger threatens the universe, you will find Dantro the Planet Man fighting for fair play. In a moment, the Planet Man. remember that Billy and Jane had just tricked the two space pirates, Blackie and Slick, knocked them out with an anesthetic gas, and regained control of the Planeteer. Planet Man and Pat, marooned on the asteroid by the pirates, were saved at the last minute by a prospector who took them aboard his battered old ship. Pat has just been revived by Dantro.
Pat, this gentleman is one of the prospectors I was telling you about.
Of course I'm a prospector. Who'd you think I was, Judge Augustus? Ain't nobody else crazy enough to wander around out here except you two. My name's Rox. What's yours?
I'm Dantro, Special Agent of the League of Planets. And this is Miss Darrow from Earth.
Earth? Ain't heard nothing about them coming into the League of Planets. You must be touched in the head from that oxygen I give you.
No, there's been a lot happening. Miss Darrow was on the first rocket to successfully break away from Earth. Don't you get the news over your cosmic contactor?
Contactor ain't working. Hasn't worked in years. Ain't nothing worth hearing on the thing anyway.
No contactor? Well, how can you get along out here in space all by yourself without a contactor? What would you do in an emergency?
Same thing as I always do. Work it out. You don't live long here unless you learn how to take care of yourself.
Well, you'll have to take us to the closest League Patrol headquarters at once, then.
Don't tell me what to do. This is my ship, and I don't take orders from nobody.
But you don't understand. The lives of 2 children are at stake. We've got to get to a League headquarters before it's too late.
Don't care what's at stake. I'm a prospector, not a rescue party. I'll get near a League Patrol station in a couple of weeks, and then we'll go in.
I told you I was a special agent of the League of Planets. You can't refuse my orders.
The heck I can. I'm refusing. This is my ship, and I'll run it the way I like. If you try to take over, I'll fix it so it'll never fly again. And don't bother looking for your blaster. I took it away from you while you was unconscious. I was afraid something like this might happen.
I can't make it work.
Oh, but you've got to make it work. We can reach the League Patrol. They may have a ship closer to the asteroid than we are. A few hours may make the difference between the life and death of Pat and Dantro. If they aren't dead already. I'll try again, Billy.
All right, I will, but it's no use. Slick and Blackie must have done something to this cosmic communicator.
Can't you fix it?
No sense in my even trying. I'll probably wreck it more. Come on, let's get back to the controls and head back. Here we are. Now, let me see.
What's the matter?
Controls don't work.
Oh, are they broken, too?
No, it's set on automatic. They must have picked a course and set the time control.
Can't you turn it off?
It's pretty tricky. Once the ship's been set on course and time, you're not supposed to touch the automatic pilot. Instead of turning it off, you can change the direction, but you never know where you'll end up. We might head right out of the solar system.
Well, we can't just sit here.
I'm afraid there's nothing else we can do, Jane. From the way they talk, we're headed for Saturn. Maybe we'll be sighted by one of the League Patrols on the way. They're sure to investigate. They still can recognize the Planeteer. They know it's not supposed to be in this sector of space. There's probably been an alarm out for some time. We should have been on Mercury almost 24 hours ago.
But Pat and Dantro are back on that asteroid. We've got to do something to help them.
Won't be any help to them if we end up heading for Alpha Centauria. This way, at least, there's a choice of somebody picking us up. We'll try for a few hours more, and if there are no signs of patrol, then I'll take a chance on trying to switch off the automatic pilot.
How can you be so cruel with the lives of 2 children at stake?
I told you before, that ain't my problem. I'm a prospector, and all I care about is finding something worth finding out here in the asteroid. Yep, I'm on the track of something hot right now. The biggest stake in the history of asteroid prospecting. I ain't gonna lose it for nobody.
Can't you do something, Dantro? Can't you make him listen?
What can I say to make you understand how important this is?
Ain't nothing you can say to make me change my mind. Tell you what I'll do, though.
You going to help us?
Don't know if you'll consider it helping, but if you want, I'll take you back to the asteroid I found you on. That's not too far out of my way. Only left a little while ago.
What good will that do?
At least if Billy and Jane manage somehow to get back, they'll find us.
Well, do you think they will?
I don't know. I have a lot of confidence in those kids.
But suppose they don't come back?
That's a bright young lady. If they don't, you'd be out of luck this time. Probably ain't another prospector within 1,000,000 miles of this part of the asteroid belt. It was just fool luck when I happened by when I did. Thing like that couldn't happen again in 1,000 years. I'll take you back if you want, but I think it'd be pretty silly. Of course, it's up to you.
What do you think, Dantro?
Well, if it was just me, Pat, I'd take the chance. But I wouldn't want to gamble with your life.
Well, you don't think I'll let you stay there alone? Even if you wanted me to, I wouldn't go off without you.
Well, that's the kind of girl you are, Pat. I know it. That's why I didn't even mention it.
Well, make up your mind.
Well, it looks like you're running the show, old-timer. I don't understand a man like you. But we have no choice.
A couple of hours.
Are you going to wait any longer?
I don't know what to do. Things look bad, but once I start fooling around with that automatic pilot, things may get worse in a hurry.
But you said we'd only wait a couple of hours.
You sure you're willing to take a chance, Jane? If I make a mistake or touch the wrong gadget, there may be no way of turning back.
If we don't do something to try to save Pat and Dancho, I'd never forgive myself as long as I lived. Oh, you've got to try it, Billy.
You're right, Jane. Here goes.
The kids feel they must try to do something to get Dancho and Pat. What will the Planeteer do when Billy tries his hand on the locked automatic pilot? We'll be back in a moment, so level off. When we left Billy and Jane, they were trying to unlock the automatic pilot aboard the Planeteer. Dancho and Pat, in the meantime, are aboard a prospector's ship trying to figure out a way of getting the stubborn old prospector to help them.
I can't stand just sitting here while Billy and Jane may need us.
I know how you feel, Pat, but what can we do?
Well, that cranky old prospector can't stay awake forever. He's got to go to sleep sooner or later, and maybe when he does, we can jump him.
He's no fool, Pat. I'm sure he's thought of that. He'll probably lock us in the cargo hold while he sleeps.
Do you think he'd really use that blaster if we tried to overcome him?
Either that or sabotage his ship. He's a peculiar old coot. There's no telling what he'll do. There's no sense looking for more trouble than we've got already.
What are you two mumbling about over there? Better come over here before you get into trouble. If you're thinking of trying another trick, forget it. I ain't lasted all these years out here in the asteroids without being pretty tricky myself. Now, if you're cooperative, maybe I'll cut you in on my claim. I'm going to find it any day now.
Why do you think you're going to find it now after all these years?
Yes, how can you be so sure that you're on the right track?
Ain't going to tell you how. I've got ways of knowing, and I know that somewhere right around here there's an asteroid that's pure uranium. Enough for me to buy a planet if I want to. Maybe I'm going to want to.
If you don't help us, you may not be in a position to enjoy your money. The League of Planets is liable to deal harshly with someone who refused to help when danger threatened.
You can't bluff me that way, partner. I know the rules, and maybe I've got to help a wrecked ship or someone like you two who are marooned, but there ain't nothing in the books that says I've got to go space hunting all over the whole solar system looking for a couple of lost kids.
But they're not lost, I tell you. They're in the hands of space pirates.
That makes it even worse. What do I want to go fooling around with space pirates for? I'm too old for that kind of stuff. I'm just going to mind my own business and keep prospecting the way I've been doing. If you don't like it, there's the port.
Is it all right, Billy?
No, in a minute. Here, you hold the switch down while I try the controls.
Sure. This one, Billy.
Well, that's right. Now, don't let it slip.
Yeah.
Well, I just hope I picked the right one. The controls respond.
Oh, do they?
In just a second. Jane, we did it. Throw that switch all the way. We're headed back to the asteroid belt with every ounce of speed the ship's got.
Say, if you two help me, maybe I'll find that asteroid quicker. Then I'll go to the League Patrol anyhow to get them to authenticate my claim so as I can file it on Planaria Rex. Ain't much of a scientist. Never been able to use that new stuff they got worked out. If you're such a big noise with the League, maybe you can find it faster than me.
What do you say, Pat?
I hate to do it, but all right.
Now you're talking. Come on, look at this asteroid chart.
I hate to say it, but I'm afraid this is a hopeless job.
Isn't there something we can do?
Look, Jane, you saw me. I did everything I know how. We're going to have to look for Pat and Dancho the hard way.
Billy and Jane are determined to find the asteroid on which they left Dancho and Pat. Will they find the asteroid? And if so, what will they do when they find out Dancho and Pat are not there? We'll be back in a moment. But first, here is a message the Planet Man wants you to hear. in again for more transcribed thrills and adventures. Rocket millions of light years into space with Dantro, the Planet Man. The Planet Man.